The newly mapped procedure became effective April 1st, 2015, and it applies to buildings mapped into special flood hazard areas from a non-special flood hazard area as a result of a recent map change. Now here's how it works. After a map revision, a property that is newly mapped into a special flood hazard area will receive a preferred risk premium for 1 year following the map revision. This premium is similar to the preferred risk policy premium. The preferred risk policy, or PRP, is a simplified, low-cost approach to flood insurance for buildings that are outside of the special flood hazard areas, but still susceptible to flooding. Okay, so they'll get a preferred risk premium for a year. What a great deal. Now, after the first year, policies will begin transitioning to full risk rates through premium increases. And these increases will be subject to a limit of 18% per year. Properties that are newly mapped into special flood hazard areas on or after the procedure's effective date of April 1st, 2015 are only eligible for the newly mapped procedure if they obtain coverage within 12 months of their map revision date. If they don't obtain coverage within that 12-month period, then they will still be eligible for grandfathering to the zone and or the base flood elevation in effect at the time of construction of their building. However, those buildings will miss out on 1 year of low PRP rate. It's even a lower rate than grandfathering. So for bigger savings, get that coverage within a year of the map change. Well, let's talk about a different group of buildings that can take advantage of the newly mapped procedure. Properties that were newly mapped into special flood hazard areas between October 1st, 2008 and March 31st, 2015 are also eligible for the newly mapped procedure if they purchase coverage before an April 1st, 2016 deadline. So they have a year from the original effective date of the newly mapped procedure, April 1st, 2015, to purchase coverage. Now, this is the group of properties that may have been eligible under the old preferred risk policy eligibility extension. In fact, any policy previously issued under the old preferred risk policy eligibility extension before April 1st, 2015 should be renewed under the newly mapped procedure on its first effective date that happens on or after April 1st, 2015. Okay, now here's an example. Let's go to the capital of Texas, Austin, Texas, home of the University of Texas Longhorns. Texas flood insurance rate map was revised in August of 2014. Many structures were mapped into the special flood hazard area as the flood risk in Austin was expanded. Those buildings have until March 31st, 2016 to get coverage and take advantage of the newly mapped procedure. Now, in order to be eligible for the newly mapped procedure, the building must meet the same requirements as a preferred risk policy building. A building is not eligible for the PRP if it has 2 flood claim payments for separate losses, each over $1,000, or it has 3 or more claim payments for separate losses, regardless of the dollar amount, or it has 2 federal flood disaster relief payments for separate occurrences, each over $1,000. Or it has 3 federal flood disaster relief payments for separate occurrences, regardless of the dollar amount. Or if it has 1 flood claim payment and 1 federal disaster relief payment, each for separate losses and each over $1,000. If any of those situations occur during any 10-year period, regardless of the change of ownership of the building, then the building is not eligible for the PRP or the newly mapped procedure. Also, condominiums are not eligible for the newly mapped procedure or the preferred risk policy. Like I said before, the preferred risk policy is a simplified, low-cost approach to flood insurance for buildings that are outside of the special flood hazard areas, but still susceptible to flooding. It follows the same coverage and policy language as the NFIP's dwelling and general property standard flood insurance policies.